Take your stabs at me, but I never bleed. X and bottom try to hate the God, that's all heresy.
Bottom, archetype of a superstar. I'm King James, Brian Johnson, Abdul-Jabbar, Will Bird, Shaq, Michael Jordan. I fused them all.
Woo! We are back with another one. Welcome back, my peoples, for another edition to the Exponent podcast with a God Posse. I'm your host with the most, Lana Walker, here with the God himself. XL is in the building.
Yeah, we in the building. We back, man. You heard?
Man, all right. What's it been like since we last parted, brother? What you been up to?
I just been chilling, man. Working, doing my thing. It's been good, man.
So we've had an exciting week of news. There's been a lot of things going on, but just now, just an hour ago, it was breaking some great news. We want to give some flowers to this gentleman right now, like get it out the way, man. I'll let XL introduce it while I pull it up on the screen, but shout out to this gentleman that's getting his flowers right now.
Shout out to the homie, the one and only Killer Mike, man. He just did pretty much a clean sweep of the Grammys and all the rap categories, man. You know what I mean? Let that man, you know what I'm saying? Killer Mike is somebody who, if you've been in the hip-hop community, if you follow the hip-hop community, you know Killer Mike been around forever.
Correct.
The Dungeon Family guy. They got introduced to him through Outkast, Big Boy, and Andre. Super pro black guy, always, trying to push the culture forward and shit like that.
So can I mess with you a little bit? Because I know that we had a discussion about the Flute album. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. The Flute album. I get it.
That shit right there.
Two of the categories that they won in has a Andre 3 Stacks feature on it with the song Scientists and Engineers. What does that say of the potential of what that album could have been if we had some bars on it?
Oh, I think if we had an Andre 3000 rap album, depending on the quality of the album, which I'm sure would have been of dope quality because it's Andre 3000, probably would have been album, definitely category for album of the year or something like that, because Andre is one of those rappers that we always wanted an album from. You know what I'm saying? Like, we always wanted an album from Andre. Like, it just we never got it because he's like one of those hybrid artists.
Correct.
So where he's like, he raps, he sings, he does a bunch of shit. But yeah, we always wanted a motherfucking 3 Stacks album.
Correct. I mean, I'm just, again, flowers to him. Since the album is dropped, it's been nonstop in my car every single day. I mean it. Like,
it's definitely one of the best albums I've ever. It's one of the best albums of the year. It's probably, it's definitely one of the best albums of the year. It's definitely it's probably his best album, his best work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so I feel like he found a great middle ground for this project in particular. He's always rapped like this, but like even he said when I saw him do an interview about his album, his timing is everything. And it just felt like the right time for his kind of balance and message to be in where we are with music. But I do feel like I'm glad that the Grammys, gave him his flowers. But I feel like more people in our community should have been talking about that album, that project. Like there should have been, there's a philosophical debate you could have about that album. He touched on a lot of topics, you know what I'm saying, in that album.
Yeah, because that's what he does. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what he does. I think Killer Mike. Yeah, I think, like you said, I think he bridged the gap. Like, there's a lot of good philosophy on there. It was also like, there was some jams on there where you can just jam out. Summer Love, you got him rap. Then there's some songs where he's just rapping really well. And you got songs where he's giving you his personal life. You know what I'm saying? I like that album. To me, is like, it's almost like if you're going to hang out with your country cousins and shit.
Yes.
Like you go, he puts you in that mode. Like, this is what we do in Atlanta. If you ain't tapped in, this is what we do type shit.
And it's very self-reflective. It's a very self-reflective project. He talks about, he's got a song on there where he talks about what it's like, the complications of like the nuances of being young and love and black, growing up in the community, the dichotomy of like, you know, trying to be a black man, trying to find your way, but at the same time living in the dynamics of what you're surrounded by. It was a very thoughtful, methodical, and perfectly executed project, in my opinion. It's been a long time since I've had a non-skippable project, and I mean that. Like, there's not much I could skip on that project. It was absolutely incredible. So again, shout out to Killer Mike, man, for winning a Grammy. He won 3 categories. Actually, let me double
3 Grammys. I mean that price going up. That's what that means.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean that
so
price
he won the Grammy for
up.
Best Rap Album, Best Rap Song, and Best Rap Performance with Scientists and Engineers. So again, if you haven't checked out that project, go check out the Michael Project by Killer Mike. Absolutely incredible project, man. You will not be disappointed, top to bottom. It's Black History Month, man. So if you want something that's good soundtrack for this month and can give you a totality, especially from the Southern lifestyle experience, definitely dive into this one here, because
like Killer
he's not
Mike.
He's one of those people that we talk about, like when we talk about the conversations where he understands that life is more in the middle area than it is everybody on the polar opposite. So it's real cool to see somebody like in that space getting recognized.
I'm happy that he won that Grammy. Like, that's just because Killer Mike is somebody who, like, in the hip hop terms, like he's understated. So it's good to see that, you know, he did that, and he did it, and he dominated the rap shit. So now, hey Mike, get your bag, celebrate. The price is going up, nigga. When they call you for that feature, now you can say, because that's really what it is. Like, people don't understand. Like, a lot of people that ain't in the field, or a lot of people that don't know, when people say, yo, what's the big deal about winning awards and winning Grammys? That shit affects your bottom line, because it can affect, it makes your price go up, right?
How much easier to get in the negotiation table when you are a Grammy-winning award artist and you're trying to do the Super Bowl?
And you could do that forever. Like, that shit don't go away. Even if you got Grammy nominated, you can say, I'm Grammy nominated.
Correct.
Such and such, boom, 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 boom. It's just a title. It's just an accolade. So now that he's a 3-time Grammy winner and he got 3 in one night, like, that shit's gonna get him access to different rooms that he probably couldn't get in before. It's gonna get him access to different people. It's gonna open up the door for him to be able to, you know what I'm saying, straighten up.
Correct. So, man, shout out to him, man, for the amazing accomplishment, man. It's long overdue. If you listen to this man's body of work, he's been on this wave, but timing is everything. And I feel like right now, especially, a lot was going on in our community, trying to figure out ourselves and be okay with ourselves, which is a conversation we'll go into later on in the episode. But, like, again, it was a great body of work. So shout out Killer Mike. And I just want to take another second to acknowledge someone else that is a staple in our community, man. And we have to appreciate the body of work that came from this gentleman that we lost not too long ago, man. So shout out to my man Carl Weathers, man.
My man, big motherfucking, listen, man, Apollo Creed, you know, Carl Weathers, Action Jackson. He was a lot of different characters, you know. If you know him from Happy Gilmore. Yeah, he was a lot of different characters, man. He lived his life. He's 76. I don't know how he passed away, but I do know that he lived his life. You know what I'm saying? Like, he definitely.
So I don't know if people knew that he was actually Combat Carl, a character in the Toy Story franchise as well. And obviously, like, one of the things that I saw everybody talked about Rocky, but I didn't see too many talk about his magnificent role in the Predator series. I mean, he was amazing in Predator. You know, other movies like Street Justice, Arrested Development. He was on a lot of things. Star Wars versus the Forces of Evil. So again, the guy had a very long, beautiful career. Sometimes when we lose people, we don't need to be sad. We need to celebrate their legacy. I think Carl's one of those people. I think, like, when you exceeded the life expectancy, then the only thing we can do is celebrate your legacy. Listen, I'm just telling my peoples, like, when I go and if I exceed that life expectancy, bro, have a party. I actually want to hire somebody like when I die, I want to hire somebody, like pre-hire somebody to come roast me. And like, I'm not here to be all somber
that's
and
the
stuff
thing.
if I live
That's
my life
thing.
out.
Like, everything don't gotta be a sad moment. Everything don't gotta be. We can make that shit into a party. Like, nigga, let's turn up. That nigga was
Correct.
that man was 75 years old. You feel me? He was 76 years old. Excuse me. He passed the life expectancy. He definitely carried his way through, and he had a great life. He had a good career. You know what I'm saying? He had multiple movie roles. He had one or two roles that ingratiated him into the American culture. Like, ain't gonna be no other Apollo Creed. Even the Creed movies now with Michael B. Jordan is based off of his character, because
Off of his,
Michael B.
yes.
Jordan is Apollo's son.
Correct. And it reinvigorated that entire franchise by going from Creed's angle and Creed's life.
Yeah.
And it's kind of dope because you wouldn't expect that atypically in the film industry for them to be so willing to move the franchise into a black story and black spaces with different kinds of black representation, which again is super fire. I mean, there's layers to the Creed movie series in itself that people are missing. We're talking about a woman who's playing a role that speaks ASL and is dealing with, you know, a handicap, if you will, with being deaf and also being a musician and then being a black wife and a black mother and him being successful with money and then trying to maintain his integrity. I love the duality of the last movie that they had with my man Kang out there doing his one too, because that's a lot of what we're talking about. Like people don't understand the you know, they see the end result and they enjoy like the colloquial vernacular that we use, but they don't understand what comes with this sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't just pick up a language, we had to pick up a culture and then try to figure out how to navigate the worst parts of that culture to make the most productive outcomes for ourselves. So I think that movie reflected that well. So, and again, that wouldn't even be possible without Carl Weathers and his legacy being involved in the Rocky series. I mean, think about how impactful of a role and of a presence that you had in a franchise for them to build a spinoff and then it be successful. And when they kept saying black films don't work globally, well, his films and the series that followed after that have kind of proven that that's not real.
Yeah, nah, he definitely he has definitely, like I said, he had a long career. He played his roles at the time to the best of his ability, you know what I'm saying? And I think that being like everybody, Rocky wasn't this big phenomenon like it is now. Like when people, I watched the documentary with Sylvester Stallone. Like, Rocky wasn't this big thing like it is now. Like, when he wrote that movie, he didn't know. Like, that was like he was on Wishing on a Star type shit.
Yeah, he got turned down by everybody. He had to figure out how to finance a large part of it himself.
Yeah, he literally, it was like one or two theaters that let the movie even rock. And then it blew up from there because of word of mouth and everybody's talking about it. Oh shit, this movie's good, blah, 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 da, 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 da. So people got to understand. And then Carl Weathers played an integral part in that by being Apollo Creed. He was in the first 3, 4. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like he was just in one and then that was it. He was in 4 movies. You know what I'm saying? And even the fourth one, when he got killed by Drago, like, he was the protagonist damn near in the movie until he died. So I think
then that's even doper. Like, out in the Creed series, they brought the Drago line back. Now you got another spinoff you can do on the Drago side on its own.
Yeah, it's a whole
just from those 2 films.
Yeah,
it's a universe.
A whole universe now. Like, if they do it right, you know what I'm saying? They play it right. It's a whole universe, a whole list of things that can happen now. You know what I'm saying? Because of them movies, you know what I'm saying? Because of his role in said movie. So it's like, peace to that man, peace to his family, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully, however he did go out, he went out peacefully, you know what I'm saying? Because that's all we can really wish for.
Correct.
Yeah, man, shout out to Carl Weathers, man.
So how do you feel? So let's get into this next one because I saw that this came up recently. I think this is one of those scenarios because I'm going to pull this up on the screen, and this is actually reported by The Hill, where again, like people are pushing everything to the extreme, and I didn't read into this the way other folks seem to have into this report. Let me just pull this up real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So The Hill reported on a conversation that Snoop Dogg had recently, and basically said Snoop Dogg now says he has nothing but love and respect for Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in the political arena, that is also taken as an endorsement in a lot of our arenas.
Yep.
Okay, two things. Are people looking too much into that statement, or is there some validity there? And Snoop Dogg should understand some of that when he speaks on these topics. And secondly, what happened to just no comment, or is no comment not enough in this climate?
I think, one, I think no comment people, when you say no comment, people like think that you're like, oh, okay. They know what you're doing when you say no comment, right? Two, because if somebody says no comment, like, because now we're in an era in part of society where like people gonna take what you say even if you don't say nothing.
Yeah, correct.
You see how he failed to answer that. You see how he didn't answer that, right?
Correct.
So
Yeah, I get it.
So it's like let's say he's answering a series of questions, boom, 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 and then they get to the Trump question and he don't answer it. It's like, well, why didn't you answer? You got everything to say. Got everything to say about everything else. Why didn't you answer that? Like, so I think that to some degree, no comment is
it's a fucking cop out.
Yeah, it's a cop out. Yeah,
and we know it. Even though in some cases it might not be, you just don't want to speak on something. But that's the way in our society it's gonna be received.
I also think that number one, like first of all, Snoop is a rapper, so we gotta
start there.
We gotta get out of this thing that we do when we want motherfuckers to be political pundits and shit like that. And Snoop Dogg's a rapper, man. Snoop saying, "Yo, Trump ain't never did nothing to me." I understand what he's saying. It's like I have no reason to personally hate the dude. I might not agree with his politics, but his politics is separate from who he is as a person. Every time I've met this dude, he's been, you know what I'm saying, or I dealt with him personally, he's straight.
But then in 20, so the issue, see, this is what I mean about like, so fine. And this is what I mean about people not understanding people's feelings can change. Because in 2016, he had a stark difference of opinion. And it wasn't even like crazy. He just said he never seen a person like him. And how can we have someone reckless like him running our country? But I think after we just gone through the years that we went through, you know, tones can change. You can have the wrong perception of someone and change your perception and change your, this is what we talked about, like facts change, feelings change.
Yeah.
Maybe in 2016, you asked that question. But when you ask him when it's all said and done, maybe after seeing what he could do, he said he did some things that were productive in his perspective.
On top of that, even him saying what he's saying is not an indictment on his character or relationship, right? He's just saying, yo, he's too reckless to be the president.
That's it.
Like, which is something that we have all agreed on, or you know what I'm saying? Like, son is too reckless to be the president. So it's like, my thing is like, he still could probably be like, yo, and even that statement right there, he didn't say nothing crazy. He just said, yo, he ain't did nothing to me. Like, I respect him. I got respect for the man as a man. People got.
What's weird is if you point out anything that you agree with that he did, and this is what I'm saying. Like, I hate that. Like, he has to be the example that we can use, but he's the most polarizing one with this guy Trump. And what's weird is it's like if I say, "Hey, yo," he did give a lot of money to HBCUs. People will therefore try to stick me in a right box instead of understanding. No, I'm just acknowledging something that he did right just as much as I acknowledge something that he did wrong. I'm a human being.
Yeah, like you can like human beings are multifaceted, B. Like, I don't understand. Like, everybody, there's no human being in the world that's just one way. It don't exist, nigga. Like, and I think when we as people sitting at home, we have the it's a luxury that we have because we get to sit and watch people be and judge them by the snapshots of what we see them do on the
Correct.
camera every day. So we might not exactly see the nuance in the person that we're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you watching a fucking basketball player. You watching LeBron and you like, I hate LeBron, and you like, nigga, how? You only see LeBron for 3 hours of a 24-hour day.
Correct.
You don't know what the fuck he does for the other 21 hours. You only see that man for 2 hour basketball game. It's 2 hours long. So you only watch him for 2 hours out of a 24-hour day. You don't know that man to hate him. You don't know how that man operates. You don't know what the fuck he does. Like, even with Donald Trump, like, you might not agree with his politics. You don't know what he does on an everyday basis.
Correct.
You don't know what he does 24 hours a day. You have no idea. He's giving speeches. He's doing this. You see him when he makes a speech, you don't like what he said. He's playing to a character. He's working his gimmick just like everybody else. You feel what I'm saying? So us at home get the luxury being like, he's an asshole. And it's like,
correct.
you know why? He's an asshole because that's his gimmick. It's to be a dickhead. Like, he knows that. So he plays up to it. He sells it. I'm Donald Trump. I'm Donald Trump the asshole. It is what it is. You feel me? But
and there's people that like are built to just lean into it. Like, if you're gonna keep stirring the pot for them, their reaction is
there's people
to
that
lean into it.
Yeah, like, there's people that lean into what the fuck is going on, bro. Like, the people that sell the most are the people that lean into it. Oh, you think I'm a dickhead? Bet. Watch this. Watch this.
Correct.
It's like wrestling is playing a heel. That's what the heels do. They lean into it. Oh, you don't like me because of this? I'm gonna turn it up more and make you not even like me no more type shit. So
Correct.
I think Snoop saying, yo, Donald, he didn't do nothing to me, so therefore I have whatever. That's not Snoop saying I endorse this man and I think he should be president. It's just him being like, somebody was to be like, yo, how you feel about Donald Trump? Like, he ain't really do nothing to me. So how, you know what I'm saying? Why do I have to indict him? Same thing with Joe Biden.
So that, go ahead. Finish that thought, and then I'll bring this up
with Joe Biden. Be like, I make jokes and shit. I make jokes about all of them because I make jokes based on what I see from the motherfucking from what I see. But do I know that man to hate that man? No, I don't know what that man is doing. I don't know what he does on 24 hours. I'm not next to him. I only can really make those type of judgments based on what I know of and what I know about somebody. And
correct.
Like, we gotta stop. I think with us, we get too caught up in what the person does and who the person is. It's two totally different situations. You know what I mean? So
it's tough. It's a weird time that we live in, but then how much of this is manufactured? Because that's where it gets, I can see if I felt like this was a natural derivative of how we're evolving and this is how we're doing things, but how much of this is manufactured in an ecosystem that we've only been engaging with for the last 20 years or so, called social media. I like to call it unsocial media sometimes, or uncivilized media, because it seems like it's uncivilizing our ability to be able to parse between the gray areas. We just have to pick a side, it seems like, since social media. How much do you think that plays a role in this?
I think social media social media gives everybody an opinion, and a lot of people that it gives an opinion to, it shouldn't have an opinion. Shouldn't have a platform for their opinion. Gives everybody a platform for their opinion. I always say that um, social media, okay, everybody has an opinion, right?
Mm-hmm.
That don't mean everybody's opinion is good. That don't mean everybody's opinion adds value to a situation. That don't mean everybody's opinion. That doesn't make you knowledgeable. Vaughn, what up? Natalia, what up? We see you. That don't make everybody's. That don't mean everybody's opinion. Is that like if I'm not a fucking mechanic and I go to the car dealership or the shop and they say this is what you need to do with your car, I can have an opinion on what the fuck I think needs to happen to my car, but that ain't the facts.
Correct.
You
I need a
understand what I'm
mechanic,
saying?
man.
Like, nigga, the mechanic said you need to change your radiator or your car's gonna blow up. Now I could be like, nah, I feel like it's this. No, it's this. Your car is gonna, you know what I'm saying? So I think that social media um creates echo chambers, right? I always say this. No matter what you think, you can put it on social media and um there'll be people that'll agree with you, right? So you'll feel like you're right because you got 30 people. It's like that's how QAnon started. Let's say you like to fucking dress up as a cat and you go, yo, I like to dress up as a cat, dog. You know what I'm saying? It is what it
Mm-hmm.
is. Then you type that shit on your Facebook. Then you got two people that like to dress up as cats, and then one person sends you to the cat group. And now you got a
Correct.
fucking now it's the 100 people that like to dress up like cats and like to run around on all fours around their house and shit like that. Now y'all got a group. Now it's 100 of y'all. So just by how human brains work, because we human brains, we don't like to be isolated. We don't like to be by ourselves in anything. Like humans will be right in a humans will rather be wrong in a group than right by themselves. Just because of how our brains work. We're not wired to be alone, ostracized. You feel me? So like there's studies that basically if you take a chimpanzee, right? Let's just say you take chimpanzee and
Yep.
chimpanzee knows a way to peel a banana that's more efficient. If you stick that same chimp in a group of chimps that don't know how to peel the banana the same way that that chimp does, the chimp will dumb itself down just not to be ostracized. Humans are the same way. And
Yep.
social media breeds that, right? Like, yo, I think that dressing up like a cat is fire. Now I have 100 other motherfuckers that think dressing up like a cat is fire. Then when you meet the one dude that's like, nah, nigga, y'all dress up like cats and run around on all fours, that shit. What's wrong with y'all? He looks crazy to y'all because it's an echo chamber. You never hear the opposite opinion anymore,
Yep.
right?
Your bubble becomes smaller.
Your bubble, like you never hear the opposite opinion. So you start to think that, and then if we want to get deep into it, it's a dopamine hit every time. So people go there to feel good. Like it don't. You could do the most wrong shit in the world. You could do the wrongest shit in the world. But if you type it out on social media, there's people that will agree. I see it all the time.
Correct.
I see niggas do whack shit, dog. I see niggas and then be like, yo, go to social media and be like, this happened. And then they leave out parts where it's all fucked up. And then they got their little echo chamber of people that's like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Yo,
Correct.
nah, bro, we with you. We standing with you. We this, we that. And you don't even know the story. You don't even know what they did. You don't know half of the half. Like, so I think that we got to be careful when we on these apps because being on these apps It hurts. It can hurt you if you ain't dealing with people. If you don't know what this is, like it can hurt. Like you're dealing if you don't have the wisdom to operate in this shit because everybody can have an opinion, bro. That don't mean everybody needs a platform for their opinion, bro. Because a lot of people's opinions aren't their real opinions. They're just taking something that they saw somebody else say and oh, that shit sound fire. I'm gonna regurgitate it. Like
But now,
in the 5%, I get this last thought up.
no, go ahead. You
In
think
the 5% nation, which I am a member of the 5%, 5% is peace to the gods and the earth and all that. We have something that we call being a parrot, which is because we all have lessons, right? We have 120 lessons that we live by. Supreme mathematics and 120 lessons that we live by. If one of the gods asks me what a lesson is and I can't break it down into my own words, they'll call me a parrot if I just repeat it word for word, verbatim. They're like, "Oh, now God, now Cypher, you being a parrot right now. How do you see that? What do that mean? What does it? How can break that down to make it? Because you should be able to. I always say it like this: the true mark of when you understand something is you can explain it to a child. If I can, whatever concept it is, if I can explain it to a 5-year-old, then I got it. Feel me? Because
correct.
you got little girls. My girls is older, but my kids is older. You got little girls. They're gonna be like, but why? When you
This
do
is
this,
why I
what
feel
happens?
accomplished that I can explain the universe to them already because I'm coming down there to where they need to hear it.
Yeah, and they'll ask you
Just
why
sowing
for
seeds.
everything. They'll
So
ask you why.
you brought me to
But
the other side of this, right? Because now
Mhm.
you perfect translation. So the adults, you're an adult. Learn how to discern information. If you keep yourself in echo chambers and you have no concept of what's going on technologically that's happening to us by being inundated by all information is not good information. So sometimes just like you got to deal with your diet, like eating, you got to deal with your mental diet as well. You got to understand the parameters of some of this stuff that's going on and being able to have enough self-control and self-reflection to know when you're begetting your own echo chamber and you have a small-minded, narrow view of the world as a whole. Bringing me to the next side of this
your
conversation, because
diet
that's the
is
adults.
more than what you eat. It's
Correct.
everything you ingest. It's what you watch on TV. It's the books you read. It's or don't read. It's the music you listen to. It's all type of shit. Like just for me, like I don't listen to certain types of music till after certain time of the day.
Absolutely. So let's take a listen to this real quick because I don't know if people were familiar, but Mark Zuckerberg, there's obviously an issue where the Judicial Council keeps bringing him back to talk about some of the harm that's happening. So although we want, as adults, we can discern information and understand what we're navigating with, young children do not, and we're failing them as far as the regard of them into engaging with some of these social media aspects too early, and it's taking a horrible effect, especially on young women. So irregardless of what everybody's opinion is, like you said before, we therefore have to look at the stats on how this technology is engaging our children with unprepared minds that are engaging. We're adults engaging with new novelty in this social media space. But when you're a child born into it with the social pressures, it's a little bit, not even a little bit, it's a whole world different. The way we talk in our inboxes and young people talk in their inboxes is different. The way we conflict resolve, we still are, and that's the problem with adults, because we still have the skills and come from a time where we would conflict resolve by having to talk to people in real time in their faces. These kids are going through some of life's craziest concepts in their age groups, and they're literally doing it all digitally. And they've done studies on how this is affecting especially young women. Suicides in young women have risen to an alarming rate. It used to be substantially lower than young men and men in general. We know that the highest group is still men, but there is a rapid rise happening in young, especially preteen to teen women. So let's talk about this real quick. Let's watch this quick clip. It's a 2-minute clip, and then we'll talk about it a little bit.
Instagram can be damaging for many teenagers' mental health, most notably teenage girls. These are the internal findings from Instagram's own parent company, leaked exclusively to the Wall Street Journal, not seen by NBC News. The journal citing 3 years of the tech giant's internal studies, including one leaked PowerPoint slide from March 2020 that reads, 32% of teen girls said that when they felt bad about their bodies, Instagram made them feel worse. Another from 2019 reads, teens blame Instagram for increases in the rate of anxiety and depression. The Wall Street Journal's Jeff Horitz writing 6% of American teen users who reported suicidal thoughts traced the desire to kill themselves to Instagram.
This could potentially have life-altering consequences.
The shocking findings are not surprising to 18-year-old Anastasia Vlasova. She says she developed an eating disorder when she was 13. Around the same time, she joined Instagram.
It's obviously extremely difficult when you open up your phone and you see this feed of endless amounts of perfect photos.
The latest reporting also showing Facebook publicly downplayed the ill effects of Instagram on multiple occasions.
The research that we've seen is that using social apps to connect with other people can have positive mental health benefits.
Instagram hitting back at the journal's reporting, saying it focuses on a limited set of findings and casts them in a negative light, noting that its research into the effects of social media on people's well-being is mixed, and that social media isn't inherently good or bad for people, while promising steps to address the problems. Aaron McLaughlin, NBC News, Los Angeles.
All right, so let's talk about that.
First, I just want to say Mark Zuckerberg looks like Data from Star Trek. That's what I want to say.
Doesn't he, bro? He's turning into a cyborg more and more every
He's
year.
not even a real person.
He's not. He's not.
Yo, Mark Zuckerberg don't look like a human being. That shit is crazy.
Bro, he looks like a vampire sitting up there melting with the lights on.
He doesn't
him,
look
bro.
like he goes to sleep at night. Like
I swear that nigga is a cyborg, bro.
He don't look like he goes to sleep at night. He shuts it down.
I left out the heavy part. So at the Judicial Committee, they brought family members of young people who died. They committed suicide. Their last moments were on social media. They committed suicide. And it's a direct link between their last argument was there. The last trigger was there. Now, do I believe that we need to raise stronger children? Absolutely, I believe that. But we also need to understand they are living in a different world from us completely.
Yeah.
Completely. And if we're raising our children to not beat people, to not be abusive, to be more caring and be more empathetic, they're being inundated, especially young women, with beauty standards that are becoming, and we talked about this on the last episode. Instagram, in a lot of ways, influenced the BBL movement. And it has young women thinking about cutting their bodies, young people, men too, thinking about
cut it out there, men.
Before doing the natural physical ways that you can enhance yourself. You can enhance yourself. It takes some work. It takes some compound interest. But if it's going to be, if you're doing something in competition of someone else being the reflection or your mirror, you're moving in the wrong direction, young people. You need to find yourself. And I know that's very easy for me to say as an older person, because I came through a generation where that was possible and I wasn't constantly inundated with this shit every day. But they engage. Social media to young people is water, guys. It's air.
Yeah, it's like
it's not the same to us. Social media is a cup to us. It's water to them.
So when we dealing with the youth in social media, they're born with this shit. It is an extension of who they are. It's an extension.
It's symbiotic now.
It's symbiotic to their life. So to tell a 14, 15-year-old person, yo, just shut it off, is different, because the thing is, it doesn't go nowhere, right? It doesn't, like, when we went to school, you get your ass beat. That was the end of it, right? Now, you get your ass beat, it gets recorded and uploaded to YouTube, so that ass whooping lives forever, right? Now, if a young girl or a young person gets caught doing something and somebody else, I agree, you can take their phone away, but that in this world, that don't even work because everybody else is recording. So if your kid gets caught doing something and somebody else records it, they'll spread that shit around the school so fast. And now people are making fun of your kid because something happened and they got it. It's up. I was in Brockton High, nigga. They the whole Brockton High School is on a Snapchat. There's a Snapchat. Anything that happens in Brockton High between the kids, they have a Snapchat. Whether your kid has a phone or not, your kid get caught out there doing, nigga, look at this bum ass nigga outfit. And now the whole school is clowning the bum ass kid, the dirty kid, because of a picture that got posted on Snapchat and sent around the school. This shit is real.
And I'm gonna take it one step further. Mike, I hear you. I think the more productive thing to do is to weaponize them with the information and the resources that they need to understand that this is a tool. This is not your world. This okay. Because taking it, we studies have shown already, like you have you seen how viscerally violent you've seen if you've seen how viscerally violent a child will get over their phone, you've seen the same shit in addicts.
Yeah. It's not the remedy. They can't survive. My thing is this, right?
No. Yeah, we feel you.
Yeah, we feel you. We wasn't just saying that. My thing is this, like, social media social media and being on your phone triggers the same thing and triggers the same dopamine receptors in your brain as the hit of cocaine does. That's for everybody.
Correct.
Right? They use the slot machine theory, slot machine thing. That's why people sit at slot machines so long, because they're pulling shit and expecting.
Even the scroll.
Yeah,
scroll.
Yeah,
it's built into your dopamine. It's the slot.
It's dopamine. You open your phone, you see lights flashing, you see it triggers you, because as much as people think we are evolved, we still are ancient brains. We still have primitive fucking brains. So when you hit the slot, it's like hitting the slot machine. You hit the slot machine, and you expect to see something new. So when you pull down your Instagram, you pull down your Facebook, you pull down your Twitter, it triggers your dopamine. It triggers, oh shit, something new, what the fuck? And then people have FOMO, which is, if you don't know what FOMO is, the fear of missing out. So people have FOMO. So it plays on a bunch of things. But at the end of the day, like you said, it's a highlight reel. So you have to know everything you're looking at isn't real.
And we have to get our parents to talk to our children more.
Yeah, especially.
Like, I understand that we got to work 9 to 5s. I know the whole house is working in this economy, but we have to talk to our children, because the moments that we're not, social media is.
Yeah, I've talked to my daughters. They know that, yo, this shit ain't real. Anything you see on social media is propped, or I've been around girls, and there's some women in this chat right now. I've been around them, right? They take 100 pictures and post one.
Yes.
Now what you don't see is the 100 pictures that they took that were, I didn't like that. I didn't like that one. Oh, you got me my eyes closed. My nose look big. I've been the guy with the camera. Hold like, God damn, shorty.
Like, damn, son, I put it on burst mode. It was on burst mode, bro.
Like, damn, how many pictures I gotta take for you? You know what I'm saying? Damn.
But the crazy part is we've also seen this happening with guys too now. Like, it to act as if social media hasn't changed the fabric of society and how we do. It changed elections, guys.
Yeah, and it has everybody living up to some fake standard, right? Before, comparison is the thief of joy.
Sorry to interject. The same social media that benefited and gave us Obama is the same social media that gave us Trump, which is the same social media that gave us Biden, and whatever the fuck we're gonna argue about this time.
The next 77 presidents. But it has us living up to some fake standard, because comparison is a thief of joy.
Yes.
Well, all we do when we get on social media is compare shit. I've seen niggas this whole week. I didn't comment on it at all. But I've seen niggas arguing about Boston and Brockton, and nobody owns no fucking land in none of these places, nigga. Nobody owns a brick. Nobody owns a street corner. Nobody owns nothing. And niggas is on the internet typing paragraphs
about that shit,
yo,
bro.
Nigga, I'm from this hood, and it was lit over here. And who gives a fuck?
Shit.
Who cares?
Let me give you a stat for the people having that conversation. This is the only stat that should matter to you. Fuck all that where we from shit. The only stat that should matter to you is that black people in this state have $8 of net worth compared to 250,000 of their counterparts. We have $8 of net worth on average in the fucking family of color, specifically black African Americans. Why are we talking about hoods and corners we don't own, fam? Let's build a fucking building and own that corner.
Hoods and corners, I'm from this, As somebody who has moved around both areas and been respected from both areas, guess what? Neither one of these areas gives a fuck about me. Calmar Street has moved on since I left it. So has Franklin Hill Projects. The projects my family's from in Boston, don't even exist no more.
Don't even exist.
It down and gentrified it.
White ladies jogging around and shit.
Franklin Hill don't exist no more. They knocked it down. Niggas, that's what social media does. It makes everybody operate from some fake, standard. Nobody gives a fuck. I seen it, Mike. Nobody who gives a fuck where you're from? Nigga, who cares, bro? Yo, Boston niggas with nigga.
We're fighting about who comes from the best plantation, bro. This shit is crazy.
Yo, niggas from my plantation couldn't survive from on this plantation.
Niggas on my plantation.
We both in nigga. I ain't never seen nobody I own this corner now. I own Boston.
The only niggas that could talk like that is people that built Tulsa.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? People that are building society.
Yeah. This is what I've been watching on social media. And my thing is, in my head, I'm like, niggas, y'all niggas is really having this local ass argument right now. Do you imagine if you got people from other states on your social media, how goofy you look? Arguing about Boston and Brockton to somewhere that people don't know. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody gives a shit. Because when you leave Massachusetts, if you ever left, nobody gives a fuck where you're from. I'm from this projects in this corner on this. Nobody, nigga.
Ooh.
They go,
tell
what's
me
up?
more.
Well, you good nigga? Okay, boom, boom, boom. When I left, I lived in Atlanta for a long time. They called me Boston because that's how they recognize.
That's what they know. Yeah.
Was I supposed to be like, nah, fam? I'm actually from 20 minutes south of the thing. But they don't give a fuck in Atlanta about Brockton, nigga.
At all.
They don't give a fuck about none of that shit. They don't give a shit. In California, they don't give a fuck. Just as much as you don't know the difference for living in Massachusetts, you don't know the difference between somebody who lives in LA and somebody who lives in Torrance, California. They're right there. You don't know the difference. Somebody told you they lived in Torrance, California. You'd be like, oh, he's from LA.
Yep.
Nobody gives a shit.
People base things off of their points of reference. And a lot of people from Massachusetts, their only point of reference is championships in Boston. For the last 20 years, that's what it's been. And then we've seen it when they shoot movies. They shoot most of them where? In Boston. So when other people learn about the state of Massachusetts, they don't have a concept of all this bullshit.
Other people, let me tell you, I'll be the first one to tell you. Other people from other states don't even know there's niggas out here.
Man, don't get me started. Every time, I've literally verbatim had people say to me, there's black people in Boston.
Everybody from other states thinks Boston is a fucking Whitey Bulger departed movie. The fucking, do you understand what I'm saying? Departed movie. You understand what I'm saying? They think it's Mark Wahlberg running around this bitch and Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. That's what they think. They don't understand. Yep. They don't even understand the culture of it. They don't know that. They don't know. They don't know. This ain't even no disrespect. They don't know what type of people out here. They don't know what the Cape Verdean is. They don't know we got Dominicans out here, Haitians, Asians. They don't know none of that. They just think Celtics, Larry Bird, Whitey Bulger, Mark Wahlberg, The Town.
Correct.
And these niggas is, yo, son.
They're like, Goodwill Hunting? Goodwill Hunting?
Yeah, I understand it from a young man's perspective. If you young I get it from a misguided perspective. I get it in the sense of, yo, but social media makes niggas just say stupid shit. That's what I'm talking about, the echo chamber. You can't step outside yourself and go, yo, I'm really arguing with niggas right now about Brockton and Boston.
Yeah. Well, this is what we talked about
I'm
earlier
really
too.
arguing with niggas. Like, nigga, do I own anything in this? I don't even own a house. Niggas is renting their crib. Niggas don't even own the house that they sleeping in.
Nothing.
But we got other shit to worry about. Right?
So much more shit to worry about.
There's other shit in the world. Social media in itself is like, it gives everybody this fake, like, it's like wearing a mask, right? I forgot who I watched. Might have been a wrestler. It might have been somebody acting. But they said, I like to wear a mask because when I wear a mask, it separates me from the crowd. I can do things under the mask that I wouldn't normally do if my face was shown. It's the same thing with social media. It gives everybody a mask. You can say a bunch of shit or represent a bunch of shit you would not say in real life.
Correct.
Every day I see people talk about motherfuckers that if they saw that motherfucker, like, all right, let's just, I hate to bring it up, like LeBron James. Let's just say LeBron James, right?
Yep.
Anybody who's a LeBron hater, if they was to meet LeBron, they would not bring up an ounce of that fucking hate for that man if they saw him.
99.9% of people will not.
It'll be, oh shit, LeBron, what's up, my nigga? Yo, good shit, yo, you the GOAT, or not, whatever, yo, what's up? Yo, I appreciate what you do, da-da-da-da, can I get a picture? But they ain't gonna fucking be like, yo, well, LeBron, you flopped during this, and then Kobe got better stats. No, you not. This don't even exist. It's not real, dog. It's not. You're not gonna say that if you meet LeBron James. For one or two reasons. One, you ain't even gonna have time to say that to that nigga because a nigga like him is on the move. And then two, you're not. You're just not. It's like if I was to meet like dog, I've met some of these people before. It don't go like that. I met Shaq before. Did I say, yo, Shaq? Yo, son, why you talk to Kobe like that? No, what's up, Shaq? Oh, shit, Shaq. That's Shaq right there.
Well, this is when we talk, you're bringing us into the next one, which is talking about what is going on in society where people are putting so much emotional investment to this shit. Like, so much. Like, to the point that niggas are willing to tell each other to pull up over debating over posts about LeBron and wrestling and what is going on?
One is because people don't know how to debate, right? People don't know how to debate. You're supposed to debate with no emotion. You're supposed to debate from a logical side, right? So a lot of times people think a debate is me making you agree with what I think.
Yeah.
Instead of confidently just explaining your side, I explain my side, and that's that. Like, people argue with their heart instead of their head. Like, okay, you don't like LeBron. That's fine. Just like my debate when I was talking about you don't like this basketball player. Okay, cool. That's fine. I think this basketball player is better. You can present your facts. I'll present my facts. And that's the end of the debate. People get emotionally invested in shit like that too. It makes it hard to have, how dare you disagree with me? A lot of people have never had their opinions challenged before. A lot of people, where they're from or the people they be around, they hold a certain rank in people's lives, or they're the smartest person in that room. So every time they say something, it's never challenged. Or people take the challenge of an opinion as disrespect. And it's not, right? So you can feel one way, I can feel another way. Okay, cool. That's fine. But at the end of the day, when we start dealing with what the issue is, the truth is always in the middle somewhere.
But no, let me even go. I can get into a deep debate with somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a part of me that clicks and says, neither one of us are passing law on this. We're just shooting the shit.
Yes.
So even if I completely disagree with you at the end of the conversation, for me, maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm matured in a different way. But I purposely position myself with people that are so unlike me around me because that has helped me learn more. Now, what comes with that is I'm constantly in hot debate with my friends. But I'm growing from that pool versus like being in an echo chamber that didn't help me grow. The person I was 12 years ago was a person that was subject to enjoying the echo. The person that I became was a person that stepped out of the cave and said, fuck this echo.
Yeah, a lot of people, see, you just said something right there. A lot of people enjoy the echo, right? A lot of people enjoy you right. Yeah, but you got to look at who's echoing your sentiment. If it's 10, if you are 1 out of 10 dumb niggas and you got 9 other stupid niggas echoing your sentiment, nigga, they're setting you up to crash. It's like, we don't like yes men, but some people do. Because if you meet somebody some people, if they meet somebody who is simply just not being a yes man, they take it as disrespect.
Because that's what their ecosystem's been for so long.
The ecosystem and your ego. A lot of people are arguing from an ego perspective, right?
Yes.
You're arguing so you're debating from your ego. You're not debating from your mind. You're not debating from your head. You're not giving yourself a chance to learn, chance to grow. I'm smart, so intelligence don't even work like that.
It don't.
You got to put your intelligence on the board every time. Okay, this is what I know. This is what I don't know. This is what it is. Okay. Sometimes you got to shut the fuck up.
Correct.
It's like if I'm talking about a woman, if I'm talking to a woman about women's issues and what women go through, and she starts explaining it and breaking that thing down, right? I, as a man, have to shut the fuck up. I can give my opinion when asked about it, but I have to shut the fuck up. You know why? Because I'm not a woman. I don't know what it is to be a woman. So I can't say for certain. I can't argue her back. Nah, shorties go through this. Man. Sometimes you gotta shut the fuck up. Shutting the fuck up is more valuable than opening your mouth a lot of times. Just the reality of it, nigga.
And people sometimes forget what is the context of this conversation, because a two-way street between me and my family have an open door policy. So my wife is a doula. Now, when she talks about the Black birth experience, I will shut up to listen, and then I will share my thoughts on it. But that's it. That's it. And me and my wife we're much like my friend pool that I picked that ended up being better for me. I picked a woman that is completely not like me in any way, shape, or form, because I can look at her for an example of something else to be instead of looking at somebody who's just like me. So we can have these conversations in a nuanced way, but that's a different conversation. I can't take that energy and freedom that I have in that conversation with my wife in my home to a conversation of a woman's group and then feel like they're all going to respond like my wife will.
Facts.
My wife has a different obligation to me in this conversation. My friends have a different obligation to me in the conversation. But when you bring that lexicon into a public space, you have to expect ebbs and flows in that dialogue.
Yeah, like.
So while we're talking about this, since we're reaching the top of the hour, we're going to bring a special guest on because we had a very, very good, healthy debate in our group chat this morning. Very spirited. Debate, and I just want to, again, preface, the point of the multiverse is to share our different experiences, backgrounds, everything, triggers, our ups, our downs. We're here to be flawed human beings in front of everybody to talk about our flawed experiences. Now, I'll preface this that I said I did invite 2 young women from our group to join this conversation because this conversation did start around women. They've opted not to be a part of the conversation, which is totally fine. But we also are in a space where we're having this debate, and we're just going to talk about some of these dynamics of like what the capacity is to be a brown person globally, nationally, locally, etc. And I want to bring our guest on from one of our other shows, Sean Puff from Smarts, Spot Monkeys, and Super Kicks on right now. Can we welcome Sean to the building? Sean Puff, what's up, brother? You're muted.
Unmute yourself.
You're muted. You're muted.
Unmute
Can't
yourself,
hear
big
you.
dog. Unmute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
What the hell are
Yes,
you
finally.
shooting on? A VHS camcorder?
No, I don't know. I got this little Logic camera that it's better than the one right on my laptop.
You better come borrow my camera, bro.
Hey, man.
Hey,
Hey, man.
I want to say a couple things.
He's here.
First, I want to say, Excel, you were talking about like diving into it, right? I did. I told you I was going to wear a sweater vest.
Oh, let's go. Yeah. That's what I'm
All right, so
talking
let
about.
me set the stage.
Wear your
Let me
sweater
set the
vest, my
stage.
boy.
So earlier today, we were having a conversation. You know, we all like wrestling, which is kind of a cool unifying thing. It even brought some people back to wrestling in the conversation. So we have a lot of wrestling conversations in our group, but we are a very different group. There's a large amount of dichotomy in our group. People that have different perspectives, different things. So we got into a very good conversation earlier. And just because it's important to the beginning of the conversation, even though we came to an agreement about misword use, it's still important to come back to the beginning of the conversation so our viewers can enjoy this dialogue. So let's start with this. I had put up a post inside of our group chat. Basically, Bianca Bel Air is coming out with a fire new reality TV series highlighting her life outside of wrestling, what it's like to be married, what her aspirations are to be a mother, what have you. And this is in partnership with Hulu and WWE. So I just threw it in there. I didn't even think about it. I came back a half an hour later. Boy, the group chat went crazy, son. I had to scroll back like, yo, what's going on here? Like, yo, white flag, white flag.
Hey,
but it was all in good spirited learning and family vibes. It was more like a family conversation. So, Sean, I want you to
real quick.
Yes, go ahead.
I want to say something real quick on that because this is going to be really funny because I didn't even mention this in the whole conversation. I didn't even click that whole link. So, I didn't even really know what this show was about. And I was just making a statement on my thoughts on that character. So,
see, this asshole.
I get it.
Anyway, that's fine. So great. Thank you for that context.
You guys were just talking about.
Yeah. So anyway, aside from that, me and Sean have had this conversation about variety in wrestling and industry in general. So, you know, just for context, he feels that he said the word was too rough, but in the moment he felt that Bianca Bel Air represents ratchetness, and not herself, but like just the gimmicks that they give a lot of brown folks in wrestling. And Excel, the god, he felt differently. He felt that. Well, do you know what Ratchet is? Because there's levels to this. And what he sees from Bianca Bel Air is just a Black woman living steeped in her culture. So now I'm just going to step back. I'm going to get my drink here. I'm going to let you guys, you know,
like,
shoot the shit.
You got to
shoot the shit, guys.
Nah. I definitely, like you said, when we had the conversation, you know what I'm saying? He said, because what I see Ratchet, because I, you know what I'm saying, from my experiences, my walk of life, I know what that is. Like, I know what to say. You know what I'm saying? And I think Bianca, that character is just a young girl. Like, she's young. I don't know her age. I'm going to go on a limb and say she's got to be at the most early 30s.
I'll tell you while you're talking.
So that she uses the slang, she uses the period and all of that, and she does
34.
She's 34. Okay, so she's from a lot of these kids that are even Roman and all these guys now, they're hip-hop babies. You understand what I'm saying? Like, Cody Rhodes was one of his promos, he was singing Tupac. Whatever, he was a straight rider, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's more of a sign of the times, you know, than she's trying to be ghetto or she's trying to be. Now, I will say that, is there ratchet people that exist? Yeah, hell yeah. Is there things that happen in wrestling to where the gimmicks given to black people are demeaning as fuck? Yes. 100%. You'd be a fool to not know that. They had the wild Samoans eating whole chickens on camera like savages. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think sometimes we have to be careful when we just throw labels on people. Like, yo, you're this or you're that because of what we see on the outward. You know what I mean?
Now,
No, I get that.
Sean,
I get that, and I agree with that. But my whole side of it is I feel like there's not enough positive, and I don't want to say that she's negative, but again, I think ratchet was too harsh of a word. I don't know what the right word to use. Hood?
Variety.
Would hood be a better word to use?
Variety.
Hood, yeah, you can say that. You can say hood. You can
say hood. Because hood
hood
is substantially different than ratchet.
Yeah,
substantially.
You can say hood. You can say that.
So
and I can see that.
I think she's very hood, and I don't like that. Black characters, they're hood, they're angry, or they're dancing and jiving. To me, like that's like we don't have like Lionel brought up that Bobby Lashley has a gimmick now where he's like in a suit. Bobby Lashley was a top guy. He was like world champion when he was the angry black guy and when he was the MVP and he was just angry. But now that he's got this gimmick where he's wearing a suit and a tie and he's proper, what's he doing? He's on the bottom of the card, jerking the curtain. So like that's why I don't like Bianca Bel Air's character, because I don't appreciate that all of the top right up front black stars that are out there that they're putting out there to do things for the kids, for people to see, are the characters that are more hood. Because to me, it just pushes, hey, be hood. You got to be hood. It doesn't push the, hey, go wear a suit. Go be a shrewd businessman. Go do things like that. That's my point of view of it. That's what I was trying to get across. I do admit that it came across wrong in the way that I said.
You were talking amongst friends. It's cool. You were talking
it's cool. I respect that, and I think that there will be variety. Period. I think I agree to what you're saying to some degree. Like there should be more variety. Period. There should be a goth black. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody in the goth, like an Undertaker type guy, but black. There could be a fucking.
Well, you got Damian Priest. Damian Priest is Puerto Rican.
Shout out to Damian Priest. I like Damian Priest. I fuck with him. You know what I'm saying? I think that I agree in the sense of that every black person that gets put on a thing don't have to be hood, don't have to be, you know what I'm saying? I think, but when we get to like there's certain characters that they flourish in that, it makes them relatable. Like when The Rock first came in, he was Rocky Maivia with the curly hair and all that shit, and think nobody liked that shit. That's where the Rocky said, everybody Rocky sucks, all that shit. Then they was like, yo, stick him with motherfucking Ron Simmons and them guys. Then he started becoming The Rock, wearing a little swagged up, wearing his suits, and I think that what we do, I think black people in wrestling, I think the labels we throw on each other can be more detrimental because Stone Cold is more hood than all of these niggas. You know what I'm saying? He drink beer, flipping birds, fuck you. Ric Flair, that's where a lot of the hood people get their swagger from Ric Flair. Yo, I got these jeans, bro. I got these. How much is your shoes? My shoes cost more than your house. And when I see, 18 to 26, meet me at the hotel. We gonna go to Space Mountain and all that. Like, I think that we need. Yes, we need variety. Yes, I think you saying Bobby Lashley. Me personally, watching Bobby Lashley, to me, I don't think it's a angry black man thing. I think it's he has a personality thing. Cause sometimes when he talks, it's boring to me. To me, I'm not saying he got to be like, yo, what's up, my nigga? He don't got to do all that. But I just think like his tone of voice sometimes, the way he talks and how he comes across. Like MVP to me is a great talker, right? MVP got that gift of gab. That's why he talks with Omas, and that's why he talks like he talk because he's a great talker. I think that we have to, as Black people, like, because you know what I'm saying, somebody such as yourself who is a suit wearing, you're a businessman and you do things like that, like you don't want to shun people away. And from the same side as somebody from the hood, me being who I am, I don't ever want to shun you are a white boy. You sound white. It's stupid to me.
But it happens a lot. It happens.
Yeah,
I get it all the time.
Yeah.
I get it all the time. That's why.
Yeah.
That was why I came on with this, because I was like, yo, I get all the time. Oh, you're the whitest Black guy, and I get that from my Black friends. You know what I mean? So to me, that comes from this culture, right? Where, and I get it's who you want to sell to, and it's all about who you can relate to get to buy, because it's about merch, right? It's about sales and making money. So you want to be relatable, and you want to draw certain people. But at some point, I feel like you got to look at it and say, hey, we're only pushing this hood thing. Why can't you do it the other way?
That was
you're still gonna draw people to that if it's done right. If you do it right, you're gonna draw people to it. And maybe it's just me thinking people should take more responsibility than they do. But I do get about money.
So, and this is where I came in the middle, where I feel like I think we're actually living in that moment. Because my argument to both sides is, one, we live in a moment where we can't help that, like XL said earlier, that even white folks are picking up our vernacular. Like hip hop, Black people, Black entertainment, how Black people buy in this country changes a lot of demands in the market. We're promoted to a lot, right? So the problem is that when we have people that are behind the scenes that don't look at us doing the analysis of the marketing shares and how to appeal to us, they can only go based off of what they see. This is why I said earlier that we need more representation on the back end. And I think that we'll see more of that develop. And I hope that that's what it's starting with The Rock coming in and bringing in more people that can provide you ways to make the goth Black girl wrestler from Africa that has an Australian accent. Why not? Like, and if all of those things are real to her personality, why not? Because the thing that we can never forget is that white people have absolute creative freedom.
Yeah.
They don't pigeonhole each other into these boxes.
And I think that sometimes, they don't put each other in these boxes. That's my point right there. Like, we don't put each other in boxes. Like, okay, that's how that's real. Go ahead.
I get that. Here's my side of that. Like you said, like we get put in the boxes, but to me, it's because there's so few places that they put us in. Where when not putting white people in the boxes, it doesn't matter. They put them everywhere. You got a white person that fits in every single one of those categories in wrestling, right? It's not a big deal that Stone Cold's this, because then you got Bret Hart, who's completely opposite. You got Shawn Michaels, who's different. You got The Undertaker, who's completely different. You got Andre the Giant. You got Hulk Hogan. You got all these guys that are so different. But when you look at Black people, you have R-Truth, who's comedy, who's like the New Day, who's comedy, who was like the Street Profits before they linked up with Bobby Lashley, because they were just comedy. You got Rich Swann, he comedy, dancing. Like either in that bracket right there, you're an angry Black person, or you're just hood. Like the team having NXT now, OTM, out the mud. They're just hood dudes. Like I
definitely see what you're saying.
Wrestlers are taken.
No,
I definitely see what you're saying. Now, when I look at Bianca, right? I look at her, I see her character. Bianca is somebody to me that she's a little hood. And to me, she's a little hood. Like, she got a little bit. But I definitely think she plays like a medium, because she's hood, but she can still cross over, and people still like want to be like the girl that's sitting in the ghetto right now. They like her. She's liked in Middle America. She She lived her life. She went to Tennessee State and all that black, you know what I'm saying, black HBCUs and all that. I think that when she, same with Jade. I think Jade's just an anomaly. She's just and then Jade is more, once she gets her personality together, that was always my thing with her. As soon as I seen her, I'm like, she looks great, but she got to do, because wrestling, you got to use that. You got to talk well on that mic. If you can't talk on that mic, you ain't going to go far in wrestling. But I think that we agree on the sense that there should be more variety for everybody. There should be more variety. Like you should be able to, like, we should see more Damian Priest. We should be able to see more, you know what I'm saying? I just think that the times that we label each other, it gives off it gives off this energy that is just like, yo, we shouldn't be labeling each other. Okay. Like, I respect guys like, you know what I'm saying? There's guys that don't operate like me. They're never gonna operate like me. That's just what it is. But then when we get into wrestling, I understand it from a wrestling standpoint. Like, you got guys, and I see when they do it. I see when it's blatantly obvious. Like, yo, out the mud. Like, all right, come on, come on. Come on. I see what you're doing. But then there's guys like what's the dudes? The tag team, the big dudes, the authors of pain. Them, like, we need guys like that too. They don't do much talking. But them two big brothers, when they get in the ring, they mixing it up. So
yeah,
they get busy. They, you know what I'm saying? I think that they remind me of like Legion of Doom type guys. But I think that I think it's progressing.
I got a question for you on it. Who do you think's responsibility it becomes? Do you think this becomes something that you got to look to the company and say, hey, you should be doing this? Or do you think it comes to us getting into wrestling and to not just always create our characters like that? Because a lot of it does come from who your character was. Like Kofi, before he was dancing Kofi Kingston in WWE, he was this like African mogul. That, you know what I mean? He was like an overlord. That was his gimmick before he was Kofi.
Yeah, if you don't mind. So when you ask that question, I always think zoom out. This is across all industry. And we're just now reaching a point where we're seeing Black directors writing from their standpoint, no influence. We're seeing Black animes coming out in their perspectives, no influence. It's going to take some time because we are now just coming into a cultural shift where we're not just wanting to be entertained and be cool anymore. We're pushing for more of us to be focused on science and engineers when we have a society that's constantly inundating our kids to just want to be YouTubers. We're pushing more for our kids to get into game engineering and not just play the games.
Mm-hmm.
This is not new. This has been something that's been instilled from slavery to Jim Crow and this is not victimization. This is just reality.
Yeah.
See, right. I don't look at our past as being victims. I look at our past as being victorious because we're still here. Someone died. Someone sacrificed life, arm and limb, somewhere down my tree for me to be able to have the freedom to have this conversation that they never had. So sometimes I think that we're impatient with progress because we live in an instant gratification society and we're thinking that everything's going to be solved in our blip.
Nah.
We are still moving in the right direction. And I think that it's incumbent upon society to start changing. When you start seeing, put it like this, when you start seeing it bleeding into more Hollywood, more music, more those media, when you start seeing more anchor people that represent more dichotomy, then you'll start seeing it trickle down into the market shares because now people are understanding that we can sell to these different nuanced groups.
Yeah, and I think that like Natalia said, propaganda period been a thing for years. I think that, right, as far as wrestling, I think wrestling for a very long time was a good old boys club, was a very, the motherfuckers that was in there, and if you had to get in there, this is how you had to. I think now over time, like he's saying, it's something that happened over time. Because before that, they would be, you had Kamala,
See
who's
ya.
a guy from Alabama acting like he's from Africa, running around with a mask on, banging on his stomach, and all types of goofy shit.
Like, what are you doing, bro?
What are you doing? And then you got Papa Shango, who
Junkyard dog lived in a junkyard. Like, this dude just came out with a chain around his neck. He's like,
walking around with a chain around his neck, barking at people. So I think
and he
now,
was the good guy. People loved him.
yeah, and I think now, shit, even Dusty Rhodes, who's a white man, talked like a black 70s soul brother, and that's why everybody loved him. I think that now we get into a point where, in all aspects, from women to, because I'm from the 90s where the women wrestlers were basically just, they were divas. They wasn't even really wrestlers. They just shorties that look good. They just threw them in the ring. Now, these girls now are wrestling.
Busy. They
Get
busy.
Like they doing all type of
They were having mud,
situations.
they were having mud wrestling matches back then. That's
yeah,
what it
they
was.
was having. Yeah,
They were. That's
going
crazy.
crazy.
That's true. Yeah.
So I think they're having strip matches and things like that. So
Yeah,
I think now we're getting to a point where we can. There's nuance now. There's Bianca Bel Air. There's Rhea Ripley's. There's Jade Cargill's. There's Oscars. There's, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's nuance. It's gonna happen on a cultural level too. I think more of us that they allow in wrestling, and that to be able to get behind the writers' room, in the writers' room. So you'd be like, yo, nah, bro, like he's whatever he is, he's just that. Like,
and platforms like this are creating we couldn't have these conversations.
Yeah, like
when you started wrestling, Sean, because you're older than us. When you started wrestling, Sean, this wasn't a conversation that we could have. We could just take what was given to us.
Yeah,
we are living in a beautiful Renaissance time, and we understand well, we don't have to take what's given to us anymore, and we can push back the same way people are pushing back, saying we want Cody. Is the same way we can say we want variety.
Yeah, we want variety because here's the thing: as Black people, we are new. As people and human beings in general, we are nuanced. Like I said before, for all intents and purposes, I'm a street guy. I did a lot of street activity. Everybody knows me from the streets. My IQ is what it is, but I didn't really give a fuck about school like that because of whatever I had.
Same over here.
Right? But I walk, I talk, I wear hoodies, Jordans, all type of whatever. I can switch it up and put a suit on whenever I feel like it. Don't get it fucked up. I could get fly on them when I feel like it. But if you see me in my day-to-day life and I tell somebody, yo, I talked at Harvard, yo. I spoke, I lectured other professors. People are like, what the fuck are you? And then in the same token,
oh, my bad.
My sister, my blood sister, has a PhD and she's a school psychologist. But if you ever seen her at a party, you know what I'm saying? You'd
be like, what?
What? Her? That's the girl with the PhD right there.
Yes.
So like,
yes.
People, we're all nuanced. We're all like, and I think that the more as time goes by, we start to see that. Like so it's just tough to label somebody. It's tough to say, yo, you're just that, or because Kobe Bryant said a beautiful thing. You judge me off what you see, but you only see me for 2 hours out of my 24-hour day.
Yep.
Like,
and
so
then to converge the 2 points. I feel like I live in the middle, that nuanced area. So do you guys too. If you really think about it, like we all live in that space. We all live in that tight fucking space. And we're all just us three here particularly are trying to fight against the narratives that are being that people are trying to precondition hand to us, including from our own people that look like us because they don't know any better. They're fucked up. Like the truth is that the world is fucked up. And right now, I never thought I would be in a time where, but I had to force it. You see what I'm saying? Like I had to learn and understand my ancestors' past and understand what we went through to tell people at the schools, I'm showing up like this. I even built it into how I present. Like I start off with the sweater vest and which match the decorum, but I always tell the people, no, there's a part of my presentation where now they met Peter. I need them to relate with Lionel because I need them to see how they can go from where they are to where I am. And I can't do that just in the 3-piece, not at the bottom layer. I can't do it just in the 3-piece. I can start with them seeing me there, but I got to strip that shit off. I can start with my degree and what I've done and Black Excellence Awards, and they don't give a fuck about that. Day-to-day people don't give a fuck about that. They can't eat that award. they're not getting any leverage out of that shit. They don't give a fuck about me being a brainiac when they're over here literally being told to their faces, hey, we're paying you less than we ever paid you. We're automating out your fucking jobs. We're turning everybody into fucking thought bubbles. So in order for me to be effective in this climate, we are living in an age where people are if you can be your authentic self and balance the message, people are fucking like on the ground. Fuck the media, fuck the news. Middle ground people are still succeeding on the ground. Yeah. People that want to galvanize people together are still succeeding on the ground. And sometimes to a degree, I have to be content with staying at that level because it's going to be most effective. Because once I get thrown into, I've already been in a space where they want to throw me in front of certain news. I'm like, no. I'm not going to get into the narrative. Like, for example, offshore wind. I have been offered a job with every single distributor, and I've told them all, you can hire me as a consultant. Why is that? Because the power dynamic is different. The power dynamic is I'm the rock. I own my name.
Right. You
can't take that from me. It's the same mentality as, oh, so-and-so, I'm representing this block. Nigga, I'm not representing Nike Town's block. Nigga, what? These niggas sign my paycheck. That's it. I'm not going to go home and then cape for Nike Town. I got to go home and cape for what the fuck I want to make next.
Right. Yeah.
I know people that got lost with their identity that they go home and make TikToks and they target shit. Cool, fine. It could break, it could buzz, da-da-da-da. But you can also be just doing it for yourself without that. Do it for you. Or do it with it. But use it. Use the utility of what's out in front of us. Because this time is very special.
It's just like, and I tell people all the time, right? When we take up the trope of I'm fighting for my people, that includes the people that you don't like either. Or the people that don't agree with what the fuck you saying. Like,
correct.
There's gonna be people like, just like how he said, yo, I dress up like this. Just like at the bottom level, this works. When you get to other levels, that don't work. You got to switch it up. You got to be able to be malleable in the situation. And I think that one side labels the other side. Like Sean, like you said, people go, yo, you're the whitest black guy. Like that's, to me, that's dumb.
That's dumb.
You only talk how you talk because of where you live, how you grew up. You can't change how you talk. You know what I'm saying? Like I talk how I talk because of where I grew up and how shit I've been around.
But I'm a nerd. I grew up a nerd. Like I was Urkel.
And that's totally cool.
The other thing it's funny because I wanted to be in on so much of your conversation. So I was Urkel getting bullied, right? Until I learned that it taught me to stand up for myself. And I learned, if I punch, so I'm Urkel. I'm a little nerdy kid. If you beat me up, nobody cares because it's Urkel, right? But if I punch you in the mouth and I give you a fat lip or I give you a black eye, now everyone's going to make fun of you because you got a black eye from Urkel. So that's how I'm going to make you stop. All right, call me Urkel. I'm going to give you a black eye. How's that sound? So I learned that. The difference today is today you don't have that person you can punch in the face because it's on a screen. That's where the difference comes in bullying.
Yeah, we talked about people that need to be duffed out real quick.
Right, yeah. And I didn't realize the chat until late. I couldn't get on. I was in the private chat. And I was like, I wish I could hear that. But,
you click the comments, but yeah. And that's the thing when we deal with like, and here's the thing. Low key, if you have some level of intelligence, everybody's a nerd. We all do nerdy.
Correct.
So we all do nerdy shit. There's some shit as black people that we all do that we just know because it's a cultural thing. It's like,
well, think about it. 10 years ago, if you watched anime, you were a nerd.
Yeah.
You were a level 10 nerd 10 years ago.
Like I might be autistic and don't even know it. So
hey.
So you know how autistic people have something they're really good at? So when
they
reading group. You remember reading groups in the first grade, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You get put in like 3 reading levels. Well, everyone got put in their reading levels, right? And I would go to the principal's office in first grade and I would read the standard time stamp. I was reading the newspaper because in the first grade, I was reading at a 12th grade level. Because I was reading since I was 4 years old and I loved to read. So I would read everything. Like my favorite gift as a kid was the encyclopedia. And I would just read shit in the encyclopedia because I love to read shit. So that's why I'm well worded. That's why I'm articulate. That's why I know words because I've always read everything, right? So I was always looked at as that's why, oh, you talk so white. No, I just know words well because I read a lot. That's all. I've been reading since forever. And it's, people don't get that. To me, when people say you're white because how you sound, you talk really white. Think about how that comes across. And I know you agree with me, Excel.
Yeah.
It comes across as you're saying Black people can't sound intelligent. And I think a lot of people miss that on that side of the spectrum of everything. Of
yes, but then it's incumbent upon you as the reader, right? Because I go through this too. Like when I got a code switch and shit, people get Peter Walker fucked up with Lionel Walker. It's cool, bro. It's cool. But it's incumbent upon me to educate myself and realize this nigga don't even know what the fuck he just said. He don't know. He's whoever's saying that to you is subject to the same bullshit that you're educating yourself away from. So I had to learn to do exactly what Excel said, and what I learned in the book from Carter G. Woodson called The Miseducation of the Negro, which is lead through service. Service doesn't include service doesn't separate who I don't like and do like. Just lead through service. And sometimes the burden Frederick Douglass said, a man with education is a man unfit to be a slave. Now I paraphrase that, but it's the same thing. Okay, so you have to understand sometimes, and everybody, not just Sean, me, XL, we all do this. We have to understand sometimes. I treat life like a book, and we all got this book, right? And there's different topics in this book. Well, sometimes, nigga, them niggas didn't even open the book yet.
Yeah,
we can't get them to open the book by reading them the last chapter.
Yeah, and then when people because when people go, yo, you sound this way because of this, or you sound, it's the same thing on the other side, yo. You street dude, yo. Yeah, but that's my function. That's what I did. That's not even me.
Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying? Like that's what I did. That's not me. Like at the end of the day, when we got to be careful how that's why we got to be careful how we label people based on what we see on the outward, because at the end of the day, that's not even me. Like we all have the same needs, whether you from wherever you from. Like this is just I did. I used what was put in front of me to succeed. Now, I walk with a bop. Yeah, I do this, that, and the third. But at the end of the day, like I'm like you. If to be honest, when I was a kid, I read everything. Whatever the fuck I could get my hands on, I was reading. I read that's how I became a rapper. To be honest, I read the dictionary. I read the encyclopedias. I was just reading. You ask my mother, she'll tell you. I was just
we all got that in common.
I was just reading everything. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, where like and then for me, the reading was an escape from the project shit that was going on outside. I would jump in a Marvel book and be like, oh, this is fucking Superman. Oh shit, I'm Batman today. Or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? So
and then watching old white people jump and beat each other up in rings. Like this is the dichotomy of life.
That was my shit for the hour. I'm in that motherfucker watching Ultimate Warrior run around, shake the ropes, and do a bunch of crazy shit.
Yep.
I wanted to be Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so
my middle name is Michael, so I was like, Shawn Michaels, that's me.
Michael Puff, baby.
That's me. That's me.
That's me, son.
I wanted long hair. I was so mad that I couldn't get my hair to be long like him.
There was a point in time where you could not convince me I was not the Green Ranger, my nigga. He came and stole my man's girl. I was the Green nigga. The Green Ranger was the most. Okay, see how we play with labels? The Green Ranger was hood.
Yeah,
he tripped on this nigga's block, took over his leadership, took his girl, started selling on his block. The Green Ranger was a nigga.
I think sometimes we get, you know what I'm saying? We get Black culture. We attribute being ghetto to being Black culture.
Correct.
Which is not true, because if you've ever been to a motherfucking trailer park, they do some of the ghettoish shit. I'd be like, whoa, I've
always said from some of the projects. Yeah, from some of the projects that I've seen in this, some of the projects compared to some of the trailer parks I've seen in this country, nigga, give me public housing all
I'll
day.
take the peas.
Oh yeah,
you have no idea. Now that don't get it twisted. There are some luxury ass trailer parks out there. Don't get that shit twisted. 100%. But the bottom of that barrel, their version of the projects in the trailer park It's fucking insane.
Yeah, it's like, so I think we conflate the two sometimes with, yo, this is ghetto, this is da da da. Like, yeah, there's some people, and I'm never of the, I'm not ignorant to say like that doesn't happen. Yeah, it does.
But ghetto is even ghetto. Like this, what I'm talking about. Like ghetto is a German term. I mean, I'm sorry, it's a Jewish term, Jewish and German term. This is something that developed, and you remember reading those books. It was like the ghettos, the Jews ghetto, da 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 da. Yeah. Ghetto is not even. It's just something that got applied to us because it fit the narrative of. Think about why they call it the projects, nigga. Like my project was literally a derivative of the Cold War era. They built them as bomb shelters and then converted them into apartments for brown and poor people.
And Jay-Z said it best. You know why they call a project? Because it's a project.
Because we're the project.
Yeah, that's what it is. Like, so I think that when we dealing with when we deal with the energy of like, because us being an oppressed people, we're wired to go against each other. We go, oh shit, look, he's different than me.
Yes, this is still the derivative of plantation dynamics, where they would take the wordier, smarter person and give him. And actually, the reason that they would choose them is because they knew that sometimes if you were the one that were well read and well written, you could be the next Nat Turner.
Yeah.
So they pick you. They pick you early. Like, look at this little nigga over here. He's smart. No. Get him early. Get him early. Come over here. This is my baby now. You're in the house.
If we can't get him, he becomes a threat, right? So let's get him early. Let's figure this shit out. Because, like, even when we talk about the leaders, we talk about Martin and Malcolm. Like, Malcolm, yes, when Malcolm was on that camera, he was sued.
But Malcolm's hood.
But Malcolm is he still went to check in on his street people. He was friends with Bumpy Johnson, who was the fucking godfather of Harlem on some gangster shit. Like that was his man. That was like, so Malcolm walked the line too. He's a hood guy. That Malcolm is probably the perfect example of a dude that was a street dude that turned his shit around and became, you know what I'm saying, just went the other way. You know what I'm saying? I think that a lot of the times it just speaks back to what we're saying. People have nuance in character.
Yeah.
Like we are all nobody, even the hood dudes, they're not hood all day.
And the ones that act like it are the ones that usually crash out because you can't keep up that reality.
Tough thing. I hate those super fake tough. Like you like that at 6 in the morning, bro? No, you not.
Well, remember this, and I'm sure you guys both have recognized this. This is one thing that I always point out that a lot of people miss. Malcolm X was a figure who, think about when he first came out, right? What did he preach? He preached equal but separate, right? He wanted us to do our own thing, them to do their own thing, and if you come and hit us, we're gonna hit you back. And let him do his thing, right? They never mess with him. All right, cool. You want to stay over there and do that? And that's fine. And let him stay over there and do that. But as soon as he went to Mecca and he came back and he saw everybody getting along and not fighting against each other, and he was like, "Oh, this is wrong." I went to Mecca and I saw everybody together. All of a sudden, he was killed. Remember that?
Yeah,
remember that. They want us to fight. When we're fighting each other and fighting them, that's what they want. The whole idea of us against them keeps the people that are actually controlling everything in power. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're white, if you're white trailer park trash or you're black ghetto. Yo, they're keeping people at the bottom to keep them at the bottom, and it's gone beyond color, and they use color as a thing to keep us separate and fighting against each other.
Yeah, so that's the front.
The whole argument over it is what drives me nuts, because it's like,
it's the front. It's the front. So yeah, it's the front. Like, dog, like love is more of a threat to them. Love and unity is more of a threat to them than fighting.
Ooh, by far.
Like, oh shit, everybody's clicked up. Oh, they clicked up over here. These guys are with these guys, and these guys over here with that right there. So it's like, oh shit, the hood dude and the business dude is cool. They're cool together.
I don't like
that. Shit,
that's superpower right there.
Now we got problems because he's not about to go for it, and he got somebody on the ground level that if they tried to go for it, you know what I'm saying? If we try to do some shit on the ground level, they got the whole shit covered. The whole map is covered now. You know what I'm saying? So they don't they put different shit in the air every day for us to fight about, bro. Like,
correct.
Come on, bro.
Well, I got one more for us to debate about real quick.
Go ahead.
All right. Because y'all see, you see what I wore today. I'm here. Prediction is pain, baby.
Oh,
Anyway, so I saw another hot topic in the chat when I was scrolling back. I said, yes, sir. You know it.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Club Lane.
Oh, baby. So I saw another hot topic in the chat. Oh, man. Yo, Sean, you be lighting the fucking chat up, bro. So
say things.
Let me frame. No, it's fine. I love it, bro, because that's what the multiverse is about.
I fuck with it.
So framework. This is the framework. The difference between opinion, facts, preference. Let's talk about body weight. All right.
I like how he just threw it off the cliff like
you know what I'm saying? All right, we're gonna go on the body weight.
He's like, I'm gonna set it up and I'm gonna throw it. I'm gonna toss it.
Facts is the easiest one for me to display, and I think facts will help bring the conversation together. Let's start with opinion about body weight versus preference of body weight. Your thoughts on that concept?
Well, for me, as somebody who trains people, personal trainer, and I think the standard of body weight, right, is based on, it's not based for our people. It ain't like the standard that you see with your eyes. That because I tell people all the time that people that, like, a lot of people come to me and be like, yo, I have this goal weight I want to get to 100. A lot of women, I want to get to this weight. And I'm like, yo, you might feel better at this weight. You might be a little heavier, but it's about how you feel, right? It's about how you healthy. It's about, you know what I'm saying? Because it's different. It's how you carry it. Meg Thee Stallion is 180, 190 pound girl because she's a big girl. She's not a big fat or obese, but she's bigger because she obviously carries herself. So I think that it goes back to kind of how the Instagram shit, like, people are going by these standards that are not really real. Like, it's not like possible to do.
And let me toss this in there. There is a large difference between, and when we're talking, see, people focus on weight and not body mass index.
Yeah, that too.
Well, I think body mass index anyway. We're all overweight. Like, everybody's overweight.
Yeah, compared to
BMI is stupid.
But understanding the percentage of fat you carry versus not. Yeah. We can debate where people fall on the scale of BMI, right? But the science of knowing what your BMI is, your fat percentage, your body mass index.
Yo, Vaughn is crazy. You're not. Don't get the Drake BBL, man, please.
Oh, here we go.
Cut that out.
Cut the Drake BBL out.
Cut that BBL shit out. Stop.
That's why the conversation changed from what a physical person's weight is versus what their body mass index. Because your body mass index, I can be 400 pounds, but if my BMI is 5%, then that means I'm a healthy 400 pounds. This matters when you're talking to your doctor, right? We can all agree on that?
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
Okay, cool. So I'll bring that back up.
Right? BMI is different. BMI isn't a percentage of fat. BMI is just your height and your weight. Yeah. And they say by your height, this is what your weight should be. And it doesn't take into, it's not fat percentage. So that's what you're talking about is a little bit different. BMI
your fat percentage is like,
okay, cool. So should the focus, you're right, I just read it here. You're absolutely right. So should the focus be fat percentage when we're having the health conversation? Okay, we can agree to that. Cool.
Have a health
That's awesome.
If we're talking health,
so we got that out the way and we understand opinions vary. But now, when you take the opinion out the frame, now we have to talk about people's individual preferences. And your opinion will change. Your opinion will be different based on people's preferences. So if we know everybody has a preference, if my man says, I don't like fat girls, and I do, I'm not about to argue with this nigga about it. Like, that's his preference.
Yeah, who gives a fuck?
And why do I need to make him feel bad for that? That's his preference. If I want a bitch with a fucking neck long as a giraffe, nigga, that's my preference.
Yeah. I think
it shouldn't offend your sensibility.
If it's not your preference, if your preference isn't my preference, that's dope. Because if we go out together to look for a girl, I know you're not going to want to go after the girl that I want to go after.
And on top of that, I could go, I could see a girl. Be like, Lionel, that's you right there. That's
you.
That's you,
Right,
man.
It ain't me.
Right.
Yeah. But my thing is that I think sometimes, especially with like men, we gotta be careful when we get caught up in that because women did just from body shit. They deal with shit that we don't deal with.
Absolutely,
Right?
absolutely.
They have beauty
absolutely.
standards. A lot of them have different ailment, disease. See, I know some with PCOS. I know some that have thyroid issues. I know some that have their weights fluctuate. They deal with they're gonna have more fat percentage than us. That's just natural because that's how they're supposed to be. I also think, and then I also tell niggas all the time, if you gonna body shame somebody, have your body right. Please.
But again, I'm not shaming if something's my preference. Shaming isn't.
If it's your preference, if you like, I like thick girls, and you like, I don't like skinny girls, but you not like skinny girls.
Vince McMahon should have found people that want to be pooped on. That's all I'm saying.
If you go like this, if you go, I like thick girls, and that's
go into that again. I think you like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Like if you go, I like thicker girls, and that's what I date. I like big girls. That's what I like to date. That's fine. That's what you like. Now it becomes dangerous when you like skinny girls are fucking terrible. If you a skinny girl, you shitty, and it's like, dog. No, why do you have to do that? Why don't you just say what you like? I see it happen all the time with celebrities. They be like, oh, I like light-skinned girls and dark-skinned girls. Or like, dog, why you got to do all that?
Why are you doing that shit?
Like,
like, come on. What the fuck is that?
Just say what you like. Me saying what I like is not me shaming what I don't like, because at the end of the day, as you get older, especially for me, that should change because you like somebody's personality. You might meet somebody who's not physically your type. And
I have black friends. All of my kids' mothers are black. My wife is black. I love black women. I have black friends that don't like. It's their preference to be with other women. Now, I'm not sitting out here saying you just hate brown women and da 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 da, unless you are giving me further evidence towards that. When you're like, you just shit. Like, if I don't like black women, I also don't have to shit on them.
Yeah, that's what that. Right.
If I don't like fat girls, I also don't have to shit on them.
It's also that's all. It's the same thing what we do with anything, right? I always say you don't have to put somebody down to big it up, big your shit up.
That's
you can like, I can say, I like Kobe Bryant. I think Kobe Bryant is the best player of all time. I'm just throwing it out there for example. See how I just said that, and I didn't go, LeBron is terrible and Michael Jordan sucks. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't have to do all that. I just said, I like Kobe. That's it. Like me, when it comes to preference,
I don't date Cape Verdean girls, but nothing against them. I'm just probably related to them.
You can't related. That's a different. Yeah, see, but that's a different vibe. I already know what that is. That's a different vibe. But see, your reasoning makes sense. Like, nigga, listen, man. That might.
There's a lot of Andres, bro. I don't know.
Yeah, that might be my cousin down the line. I ain't even trying to get involved in that type of shit. I get that, but what I'm saying is, a lot of times, people, the people that do that, shaming women and shit like that, it be them it's them red pill dudes, dog. The red pill alpha male, them fresh and fit, like, dog, y'all, come on, man. Y'all, I know.
Like dudes out here hating on Taylor Swift for no reason. Like, what did she do to you?
I don't like Taylor Swift is not my bag at all. Not at all. If I was in a club and I would walk by Taylor Swift because she's not my. Do I have to hate
completely?
Her? Completely.
Like, see you later.
Do I have to hate Taylor Swift? No, I don't. Somebody likes her. Who gives a fuck, nigga? Oh, you like her? Go do your thing, my nigga. Do your thing, Travis. Do your thing, whoever. She's not for me. Like, that's not what I like. That's not how I give it up. But at the end of the day, it doesn't make sense. It's the dudes that be hating. Oh, she shouldn't be like them dudes. Them type of dudes are the dudes that you can tell in their come up. They never really dealt with women. You know, I know.
Again, you can literally tell. You can literally tell that they just didn't deal with a variety of women either, let alone any women. And they're taking their childhood trauma and shit out because they got platforms now to try to shit on niggas because the girl turned them down for the dance. Like, nigga, get your bitch ass out of here. Nobody got time for these bitch ass males that ain't raising no kids, raising their village, raising the standard, talking about being high value, and the only thing you have a value is talking and shitting on other people. That shit's corny, bro. Like, go find something else to do, bro. Like, and again, and even with me saying that, I know that they have the right to exist in their space and speak their opinion. So I, as a responsible person, am not going to go trigger myself by fucking watching it all day and then getting online and crying about it. I scroll, nigga. Like, fuck that shit. I changed the
because when we dealing with preference and standards, for me, like, my preference ain't the end all be all. It's not. And my preference changes over time. So sometimes I might like, some days I might like this. Some day I might be feeling like that. Some days it is what it is. I think that when we dealing with body types and things like that, just because, and we're dealing with women that have these conversations, we just got to be careful because they always have somebody telling them what their body should be like. Oh, you should be this many pounds. You should be skinny. You should be this. You should be this. You shouldn't lift weights because you're too jacked. If you're not jacked, you should look like this. You should be like that. Dudes, they don't really do that.
And think about the variety of guys that they'll meet in their life. Yeah, every single one has a different fucking framework for their body.
Yeah, like all dudes.
Like, damn, son, I'm taking your bitch ass with your dad, bud. Leave me alone, nigga.
Yeah, and that's like all dudes ain't the most fit. They don't take, you know what I'm saying? So it's like we got to be careful because people want, tip top shit. For me, I say, how you feel? You feel good? You feel healthy? You feel, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't, is anything bother? If you feel healthy and you feel good where you at, cool. If you want to make some improvements on yourself, you want to go to the gym, I'm never gonna not tell you go to the gym. Cool. If you like lifting weights and you want to look like fucking China, nigga, who gives a fuck? Are you happy with yourself?
Correct.
Because that's what it's about.
Yes, but then this is when I get hot, right? It is good to feel good, but feeling good and living good and being healthy is an entirely different thing sometimes. And I'm gonna get into this real quick, especially for the brown community. So yes, my preference might be my preference, my opinion might be my opinion, but these are the facts I'm about to share about the brown community specifically and health concerns in this country.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I always say, like, are you happy with yourself, right? Because a person who's happy with themselves exhibit a certain amount of energy on an energetic level. Like, they radiate, you know what I'm saying? You could tell, like, they radiate that shit. You know what I'm saying?
At the same time, we want to encourage people to be themselves and feel good about themselves. We also, as a community of color, cannot afford to misinform ourselves, though, based on feelings. Right. So, like, I might say, yeah, it's cool for you to live the way you want to live and be how you want to be, but let me just share some facts with you about what's going on in our community for hypertension, diabetes. I know people who lost limbs over diabetes, and somebody just need to have a conversation with them to push the plate back. And that is a different conversation than calling you fat. If I'm concerned with your health and it's detrimental, if it becomes detrimental to your mobility, if you go to your doctor, imagine me going to my doctor. Let's just play this out. Imagine me going to my doctor and I'm like, and the doctor's like, because this is where we are now. Doctors are afraid to say lose weight. Because it's such a charged thing now with people's feelings. When this doctor is here to tell you your health, based on your facts, based on your numbers, based on your metrics. They're looking at you, they're assessing you, and if there's one person in your life you better be ready to hear you might need to lose some weight from, is your doctor. In fact, the conversation has gotten so crazy that they're afraid to say anything to you, so they'll give you pills, they'll give you Ozempic, and they'll cut you open before they suggest exercise.
Yeah.
So we have to think. Every conversation that we have about this stuff is very, very, very nuanced, and there's layers to it.
Yeah,
there's opinion, there's preference, but there also is the health factor.
Yeah, even when they give you
a point that we shoot things down, and when I say we, I just mean like in general. Society, there's a point where things get shot down because it makes people feel bad. And that's where we are in society right now. where it's like, oh, you can't talk about that because someone's gonna be upset about it, and it's not a good thing, because if it's something that you should be talking about, you got to talk about it. And guess what? You got to learn coping skills. You got to learn to deal with sometimes people are going to tell you things that aren't going to make you feel good. Like, people are going to die, and you're not going to feel good when someone passes away, but you got to be able to deal with it and go on with your life, because that person wouldn't want you to stop living your life just because they died. Same thing with anything else. Someone's going to say something that you don't necessarily agree with, and you got to learn how to take it, think about it, and move on. And maybe if you can understand that, you'll be able to accept some of it, and sometimes it's going to be something that's better for you. There's a thing called constructive criticism. And
sometimes I don't agree with it at all, but I'm still going to move on.
Yeah, but
right. Sometimes you don't have to agree with it. You can just be like, all right, cool, whatever. You said what you said. That's it. Bro. I don't care.
Like, the uncomfortable conversations are the ones that normally help in the long run. Like, okay, like some people, they get to a point where they have to get cut open and they have to get lap band or whatever the case may be. But if you want to maintain it, that's why I tell people when I train them, I tell people all the time, yo, don't focus on the number. You want to get to a goal weight, focus on just being consistent. Don't even put the number in keep the number in your head. I want to get to 175 pounds. Because normally what happens is, once you get to 175 pounds, you fall off because your brain goes, up, we here now. We ain't got shit, nigga. We did that shit, boy.
Yep.
We ain't got to work no more. You ain't got it now. But if you tell yourself, yo, I just want to be healthy, consistently healthy, that's a everlasting goal. That shit never ends. It never, like, you can't. But if you go, yo, I just want to get to motherfucking 180 pounds and I'll be straight, son. As soon as you get there, your mind is gonna go, you got to 100. We did that, nigga. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah,
correct. But, and then, like, for this
number anyway, it could be 180 pounds and be fat and out of shape. Correct. Not fat, but you can be 180 pounds out of shape. You can be 180 pounds and tight. So, like, to me, it's about how you look. Like, you know how you look. Like, we give away nobody has personal responsibility anymore, but you know how you look. If you stand in front of a mirror and you look sloppy, you know you look sloppy. Look at yourself and look at how you present yourself. To me, that's what it is. Do you look at yourself and think you look sloppy, or do you put yourself together and you're like, you know what? I look good and I feel good because I look good. If you do, then you're good. And as long as you don't look sloppy, if you have weight and you can carry it right, that's dope. I like that.
Yeah, I'm with that too. And I feel like for men, and I also feel like for men as well, I always say, here's how I judge it. Yo, it's a lifestyle change. Vaughn said, definitely learned that a long time ago. Vaughn, you just got to tell yourself to be consistent. That's all. Something. Do something every day. Do something. You ain't got to work out for an hour. Work out for 15 minutes. You worked out. Who gives a fuck?
Correct.
10 minutes. You're adding. It's like, think of it as compound interest. You're just adding money in the bank. Who gives a fuck how much money it is? Some days you're going to put $100 in there. Some days it might be $5. You just keep putting the money in there and it's going to add up. But like I say for men, if you should be in enough shape that if the fire breaks out in your house right now, can you jump up, wake up, take your family out of the house and be
correct?
Good? If you can't do that, then you need to reassess yourself. If it was to go down, if you got to take off running, if you got to get in a fight, I'm not saying that. Because I feel like all men should
be
have
prepared.
An element. I feel like all men should have an element of danger with it. Because as men, when threats come, you gotta fucking eliminate the threat. That's your goddamn job in the world. So
in war, we don't have the ability to tuck tail.
Yeah. So
we don't have that.
When shit happens, can you eliminate the threat? If a fire pops off right now, can you jump up? Oh shit, gotta go get the kids, grab the kids, I jump on my back, we out. You know what I'm saying? Like, and get everybody out safely. You know what I'm saying? For women too.
I'm in a sweater vest, but my car breaks down in the middle of the Bronx at 4 a.m, nigga. I'm hood.
Hey, listen. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. You surviving? You know how to do it? That's all that matters.
You survive. Can you get the fuck? Like,
That's it.
Can you survive? Because as men, that's it. And then for the women, like, yeah, feel good. Do something every day. Move around, stretch, get yourself together, because like he said, it's not about just feeling good. It's about being able to feel healthy, be healthy, and then because once you feel good, your confidence is up. Now you're like, all right. And once your confidence is up, you can do things that, you didn't normally. You do things you didn't even know you could do.
Yeah, correct.
Because your confidence is up. Because even though there's no separation between your mental and your physical. Like, if your physical is fucked up, then your body's gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, your brain's not gonna fire as fast as it could or should. It's not. It just isn't, dog. Like, that's just a fact. Like, that's if your mental is fucked, it's just like if you go through a depression, you might not feel physically the best. They're connected. So it's like,
you gotta understand that science and facts.
Tired. You're like, I slept all night, but I'm still tired. Why? It's because there's other things that are going on that aren't. You might have slept 8 hours, but there's other things that you're not doing right that's still making your body not function in the way that it should.
Facts.
And you gotta understand that, like, facts and science is void of your fucking feelings. So again, if you are a person that's overweight and you are faced with a fact, you're going to lose a limb, or you're going to be stuck on this medicine for the rest of your life, or you're going to be in a situation where your mobility is done, or you're shortening your lifespan. If your weight reaches that point, be okay with making a change that's necessary. Yeah. But be okay with taking that information. Do not get so woke out here that you will disregard your health to just feel good. That's all. Like, and to not even to feel, to be healthy. Diabetes, America is the most obese place in the country. And the reason why there is a whole movement, huh? What you say? I mean, it's nuts. We're the most obese place in the world. Country in the world. And for there to be an agenda, don't you think it's kind of convenient that all these places that are shoving fucking food down your mouth are also telling you it's okay to shove that fucking food down your mouth? Like, this shit is systemic to a degree.
And the thing about it is, it's crazy. I have my man, you know what I'm saying? Because, we travel because of the battle rap. I have my man in London. He went to London for, like, he's on his health shit too. But he was like, yo. He was like, dog, I lost weight when I was out there. I said, what was you eating? He was like, the same shit I eat here. Same frequency. They don't put the same shit in it. They don't put the same shit in it. So he's like, dog, I ate the same way I ate here. And he was like, nigga, I lost like 5 pounds when I was out there. He was like, I was drinking and shit too. I was doing a bunch of shit. You know what I'm saying? Because he was enjoying himself. But it's not the same. Like, so I think that at the end of the day, like, yeah, man, just like we was talking about earlier, your diet in all ways and shapes and forms, man. You gotta just be cognizant of what you intake, mentally, physically, all of them things. You know what I mean?
Correct. Guys, I think that was fantastic, eloquent, well articulated, and done pretty successfully by 3 men talking about some very touchy topics. So that was fire.
We skated over.
We did that.
Yeah, we did that.
Yeah, for real. I think we're all safe from being canceled this episode.
yeah, we're not going to cancel.
So again, to the audience, man, again, if you didn't get the overall arc of this, it's understanding people's nuance, being able to compartmentalize your own fucking perspective versus other people's bubbles, not overly investing yourself into shit that you don't need to. You need to be focused on the priorities of your life. Not getting overly emotional about suggestions, preferences, opinions, being able to have dialogue with people that aren't like you, and being able to step outside of your echo chambers and your comfort zone, because discomfort, hardship is where growth happens. Evolution was fucking hard. Compound interest in working out is hard. Running a business is hard. Raising a family is hard. Having a child is hard. Being a woman, being a human being, or anything is hard. And that's the beauty of this shit. That's the beauty of this shit.
Yeah,
what is life if it was just easy? It's nothing. We're just fucking clumps of fucking meat.
I tell people all the time, yo, just think about how many people it took to make you. Go back. You got 2 parents, then you got 4 grandparents, then you got go back. If you go back to all the way, it's thousands of people that it took to make you.
Correct.
You understand what I'm saying? So don't let that shit
Right.
go to waste. You here for a motherfucking reason, dog. You. The hardest thing you ever. My man, when I used to work in the schools, my mentor told me this. He said, "You already did the hardest thing you was ever going to do in your life." I said, "What's that?" He said, "Make it to that egg."
A billion sperm race, son.
You beat out a billion other people. You beat out a million other motherfuckers, and then you ran up in something that was trying to kill you.
And you made it here. You made it here to enjoy a vibe with us on this floating ass rock. Let's do this shit.
Before we get out of here, I want to say one thing. Like, think about it like this, right? When we're kids and when growing up, what happens? You go to the doctor, right? And they're like, you start hurting, right? When you're a kid, like as you start to hit that teenage year, you hit that growth spurt. What do they call it? Growing pains. It's when you grow in life, it's gonna be pain. If there's not a little bit of pain, you're not growing. It's gonna be there. It's part of the process. It's part of the journey, and you gotta just know that it's there. It's there from when you're a kid. The doctors tell you when you're young, sorry, there's nothing we can do. It's growing pains. They don't give you medicine. They don't tell you it's gonna be better. They're just like, you just gotta be okay. It's just gonna happen because you're growing. That's what happens. Expect a little bit of pain when you grow, but know when you're experiencing pain, you're growing, and it'll make dealing with that pain that you're going through a little bit easier if you can understand that you're going to come out of this better because you're growing. That's why there's pain there.
There you go.
Couldn't have said it any better than that. My wonderful peoples, this has been another installment of the Exponent podcast. You are here with your host with the most, Lionel Walker, the God himself, XL, and our resident guest, Sean Puff, joining us this evening from the Smart Spots Monkeys and Super Kicks podcast, man. Check us out. We got a wild episode that just dropped. You can go to YouTube now. This live video will be up there on our YouTube and our Facebook. Subscribe, like, share. Shout out to the people who've been supporting us on our YouTube channel. We just cracked 30,000 views. And as I'm sitting here right now checking the stats, we just cracked 40,000 views on our YouTube. So shout out to everybody who's supporting, but I want to see more of those views translate into subscribers. We have decided that once we reach 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, we will release our digital streaming provider, our independent platform, because we want people to come over into that network and join the multiverse. As you can see here, we are encouraging a difference in dialogue, a difference in conversation, and allowing a platform for other people to be human together. So if you got some conversation or something you want to bring to the table, man, come join the multiverse, join our team. We're a bunch of loving humans, if you will, and we have different ideas and conversations, and everything is steeped in growth and evolution. So we appreciate y'all. Good night.
Yes, sir.
You take your stabs at me, but I never bleed. X and bother try to hate the God, that's all heresy.
Bother, archetype of a superstar. I'm King James, Ryan, Abdul-Jabbar, Will, Bird, Shaq, Michael